Hey, welcome back. I've had a pretty eventful week. It's been a little bit stressful, so I decided that I'd blog in here in my bedroom. I have lost 31 pounds, and I'm really excited about that because I actually reached the number 30, which is a big deal to me because I usually plateau at about 20 pounds lost. I, after surgery, was losing about 0.4 pounds a week, and that sucked really bad, but it's something that I pushed through. But then I had kind of an awakening, and I'm not sure if that's what really caused it, but I'm kind of hoping that's what caused it. I went to my first nutritional appointment after surgery, and I sat down and explained to her what I was eating, and she said that I'm eating pretty healthy, but I do have a little cottage cheese obsession. Let me just explain the fact that the first time I ever tried cottage cheese was probably about 2 months ago. First time in my life. I always thought it was disgusting, so it never looked appealing to me. Well, one time a friend just said, "Come on, just try it," and I fell in love with it. So I'm kind of just trying to make up for the years that I didn't get to eat it. So it's not bad at all for you. It's protein, so I'm getting a lot of protein in, but what my nutritionist said that really got to me was that even though it's healthy, it's sliding down really quickly, and that's the big deal, that it's sliding down so quickly that I'm hungry again, because I did tell her that, you know, after 2 cups of food, and I'm obviously not restricted, I get hungry really easily. So that made a lot of sense. It was, as Oprah says, an aha moment. So besides that, she also gave me some more advice. She said not to count calories, and I was like, what? Because everybody always tells you to count calories, track your food, and she said, you know, while you do track your food, don't count calories. Instead, put all that counting calorie energy into trying to realize what that restriction feeling really is. Really sitting down and listening every single time you eat for that restriction, for the soft stops. If you're new, a soft stop is basically a little sign to tell you you are full. You don't want to get to the hard stop, which is basically pain in, where your band is. Examples of soft stops are hiccups, burping, runny nose. For some people it's like a really heavy sigh. I've gotten the runny nose and I burp. I don't think I've gotten the hiccups yet. So I've been practicing just trying to feel that soft stop. And sometimes it's hard, but other times it's not too bad. I actually get some kind of a sign, but at this point I'm just kind of winging it. So I'm hoping that at some point that feeling will come. But the good thing is the nutritionist put me on solid food. She said that she thought I was ready. I'm almost a month out. And she thought I was ready for that, and that the solid food, instead of things like cottage cheese, would actually make me feel fuller. It's kind of common sense, I guess, but it wasn't to me. I just wasn't thinking that cottage cheese wasn't staying there long. So I started eating chicken, really kind of chewing it up, and it's giving me a little more of a full feeling. So that's something I'm really happy about, just because we all have that problem where we keep eating and eating and eating because we don't really feel full. So though with no restriction, it's still tough, and I still have to tell myself no. My last piece of good news is that I had a fill scheduled for June 19th. That was my first fill, and I've been really kind of dreading it because 4 days after that I go to Hawaii, and I just didn't want to deal with, trust me, it's not because I want to binge eat, but it's because I didn't want to deal with maybe having it be too tight or having any problems while I'm in the airplane, because I've heard things like it can get a little tighter in an airplane, and I just don't want to be 5 days out in Hawaii and start having pain and having to go to emergency rooms or something. So I've been calling and nagging my clinic every single day, trying to see if they had a cancellation, and they are super booked. And the good news is that today I called and they said they had an opening, and that opening is this coming Monday. So I'm really excited. I'm nervous. I'm not nervous for the pain, but just kind of to know what that's gonna feel like, you know. People say you obviously don't get restriction in the first time, or some people do, some people don't, but I'm just kind of excited for the whole process because people say it's like the next step that you take after you have your surgery. So I think that'll be pretty exciting. I'll end with a viewer question. A viewer asked me, after you get a fill, does the hunger diminish and do you stay full longer? Well, I obviously haven't had a fill yet, but the idea is that the fill, when you get a really good fill, when it's at your sweet spot, you should be able to not feel hungry for up to 4 hours, or for 4 hours, I guess is the ultimate place you want to be. You're obviously going to eat less because it's tighter and things are going to go through a little slower and you'll get full faster. But the big part of it is, I think for most people, is it's your sweet spot when you actually are not hungry for a big period of time, until your next meal, where you're not starving a little bit after. So yeah, definitely. I think having perfect restriction, or at least optimal restriction, will give you that, and that's how people lose 100 pounds in a year or more, or even 50 pounds in a year, which is amazing. Yeah, so see you next time, and I'll catch up with you next week.